توانایی و ابتکار و اراده ملت ایران رو هنوز درست نتوانستن بفهمن.
June 2025. The Middle East ignites again. But this time, it's not a skirmish. It's not a proxy war. This time, it's direct, high-stakes warfare between two sworn enemies, Iran and Israel. It all started on June 13th. Israeli jets, many reportedly F-35s, took off in waves from secret airfields. Their mission? Neutralize what they claim are imminent nuclear threats posed by Iran. In what's now being called Operation Rising Lion, Israeli forces launched precision airstrikes on dozens of Iranian targets, hitting uranium enrichment facilities, Revolutionary Guard bases, and weapons production lines. These weren't minor strikes. Some experts compare the scale and coordination to the opening salvos of the 1991 Gulf War. Within hours, smoke rose from the nuclear sites at Natanz and Fordo. Iran's infrastructure, carefully hidden and fortified underground, was not invincible after all. In some areas, satellite photos showed entire complexes flattened. Iran retaliated quickly and furiously. At least 120 missiles and drones were launched toward Israeli cities. Many were intercepted by the Iron Dome and the newer David's Sling defense system, but some broke through. Civilian neighborhoods in Tel Aviv, Ashdod, and Haifa were hit. Fires burned through apartment blocks. At least 42 civilians were killed, including children. Hospitals were overwhelmed. Emergency sirens rang for hours. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, declared a state of total resistance and warned of consequences that would reshape the region. And then came a new twist. Something few expected. The United States entered the battlefield. On June 22nd, under growing pressure and citing intelligence about a renewed Iranian nuclear push, U.S. President Donald Trump authorized a massive air campaign against Iran's nuclear sites. In Operation Midnight Hammer, American stealth bombers launched dozens of guided bunker-busting bombs, targeting hardened underground sites like Isfahan and Arak. In just one night, 3 decades of Iran's nuclear progress was rolled back. Trump appeared on live television and said, "We have eliminated the core of Iran's nuclear threat." This is a message to any regime that seeks to build weapons of mass destruction. For many Israelis, this was a moment of relief. But for much of the world, it was a terrifying escalation. Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi called the U.S. strikes an act of war, accusing Washington of violating international law and undermining diplomacy. Thousands of Iranians took to the streets in protest, burning American and Israeli flags. In Tehran, state media called for revolutionary retaliation, and it came. The next morning, Iran launched more than 40 ballistic missiles, some with a range capable of reaching not just Israel, but American bases in Iraq and the Gulf. Several were intercepted, some weren't. Oil refineries in southern Israel caught fire, civilians fled to bunkers, schools were shut down across Israel. This wasn't just tit for tat anymore, it was a spiral. But behind the explosions lies a web of geopolitical chess moves. Iran's regional allies, like Hezbollah in Lebanon and militias in Iraq and Syria, began mobilizing. Hezbollah launched rockets into northern Israel, prompting Israeli artillery strikes into southern Lebanon. Yemen's Houthi rebels, also aligned with Iran, launched drones at U.S. ships patrolling the Red Sea. One was shot down near Djibouti. The Red Sea, already a choke point, now risks being a war zone. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, and the United Arab Emirates issued urgent statements calling for de-escalation. Egypt, fearing a broader war, opened back-channel talks. Even China and Russia weighed in, demanding an end to hostilities. But behind closed doors, intelligence reports suggest both countries are quietly arming their respective sides. The United Nations called an emergency session. The European Union tried to push a ceasefire. But the reality? No one was in control. The deeper question becomes, Why now? Analysts point to the breakdown of the 2015 nuclear agreement, years of covert cyber attacks between Israel and Iran, and the acceleration of uranium enrichment by Tehran since 2023. Add to that internal political shifts, like Iran's hardliner resurgence and Israel's hawkish security cabinet, and you have a perfect storm. But it's not just politics. For many Iranians, the strikes feel like yet another assault on their sovereignty. And for many Israelis, the fear of a nuclear Iran is existential, a matter of survival. And amid all this, civilians pay the price. So where do we go from here? There's talk of escalation, there's talk of diplomacy. Some believe this is the final chapter in Iran's nuclear ambitions. Others fear it's only the beginning of a larger regional war. And most importantly, let's talk. What do you think should happen next? Can peace even be negotiated now? Or is a broader war inevitable?